Hello, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. Whether you're a member, a regular attendee, or you've just found us, we want you to know that we're here to support you in finding a personal relationship with the God of your understanding and in discovering what you already know. My name is Jim Grove, a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and I greet you with Namaste. Namaste is Sanskrit and means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. Let's begin by affirming our vision and mission statements. The words can be seen on your screen. Please feel free to read aloud with me. First, our vision: empowering spiritual growth as a loving, inclusive, worldwide community. And now our mission: we teach science of mind principles and other life-affirming spiritual truths. We explore, we learn, we grow, we connect, honoring all paths to God. We offer in-person and online weekly services, classes, workshops, affirmative prayer support, and other spiritual tools. We create opportunities for joyful social connection, community outreach, and service. And we celebrate the awakening of our innate spiritual magnificence. Now, as we prepare for our time of prayer and meditation, I invite you to relax, close your eyes, take a deep cleansing breath, and go within as Bob Teasdale sets the tone for us with a chant entitled, "I Am Opening" by Christy Snow.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. We are opening, we are opening, our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening, we are opening, our hearts are ready to receive.
When I feel hindered or blocked by circumstances, anxious about the future and unable to move forward, or bound to the past by memories, I step back and take a higher perspective to see in new and freeing ways. I know that I am never alone. I can always rely on God as my divine source of intuition. I free myself when I remember that God is always my source of guidance and that I am a spiritual being empowered through my divine gifts and the power of my thoughts to create my life. I find freedom in the present moment, the freedom to choose my thoughts, the freedom to place my focus, and the freedom to act. I stay open to changing circumstances and responsive to the world around me. Whether I need an answer, a path to conflict resolution, or the inspiration to begin something new, I am grateful to know that God is always my source for guidance. Whenever I feel the constriction of anxiety, I return to the present moment by making this affirmation: I am free. I am unlimited. I am so grateful for the guidance of the indwelling Christ presence that illuminates my mind and warms my heart, filling me with the awareness of God's guiding presence. And so it is. The message this morning by our spiritual leader, Reverend Karen Wolfson, is the fourth and final part of her series entitled The Agony and Ecstasy of Change. If you missed any of the other parts of this wonderful series, you can view them anytime from our Facebook page or YouTube channel. But before we hear from Reverend Karen, Bob is back to sing one of his own songs, Learn How to Dream. Welcome, Bob.
If your life is like a nightmare, like a bad and endless dream, and everywhere you go, it's like you're swimming upstream, the answer to your problem lies in something unseen, 'cause the secret is to learn how to dream. Now a dream can be your keeper, or a dream can set you free. What you are today is all you dreamed yourself to be. And you can choose right now the way it's gonna be, 'cause the secret is to learn how to dream. Take it easy and don't worry, 'cause worry's just a waste of time. Believe that the best will happen, and keep a picture of it in your mind all the time. You can dream your way to fortune, you can dream your way to ruin. So when you start to dreaming, just be careful what you're doing, and use your imagination before it uses you, 'cause the answer is to learn how to dream. Don't tell it how it was, or tell it like it is. Tell it how it's gonna be. Keep your mind on your destination, till you see what your dreams can see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you can dream your way to fortune, you can dream your way to ruin. And when you start to dreaming, just be careful what you're doing, and use your imagination before it uses you. Well, the answer is to learn how to dream. Well, it's easy when you learn how to dream. Yeah, the secret is to learn had a dream.
Oh, thank you, Bob. What a wonderful song. Learn how to dream. And it fits so perfectly with today's message, of course. And I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But wrapping up this month's theme, the agony and ecstasy of change, I'm going to invite you to consider the experience of change from a different angle than the last 3 weeks. But first, for those of you who may not have been with us recently, I have been sharing a special announcement about a significant upcoming change. After many months of prayerful reflection, I've come to the realization that it's time for me to step aside and make room for new leadership of this Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. So I will be retiring, or as I like to say, rewiring, as of October 31st. 20 years ago, in 2002, with the vision and generous support of a group of courageous individuals, I was privileged and honored to lead the founding of this center. Yep, this is our 20th anniversary year. And this year also marks my 35th anniversary as a minister, having served in 2 centers prior to the founding of Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. Now, as we are finally experiencing a sort of resurrection after these past years of the pandemic, it is so evident that we're poised on the threshold of countless exciting possibilities. And I know there is perfect new leadership for this community as it moves into this next phase of its expression. In preparation for this time of change, our incredibly wonderful leadership team, the Board of Trustees and the supporting spiritual practitioners, well, that team has been skillfully and thoughtfully working with me for the past several months with love and wisdom, guided by Spirit, to create a smooth transition process. Now, they'll be providing you with more information as amazing things unfold, and I know those amazing things are waiting to unfold. So stay tuned for the adventure. And do stay connected. Your presence makes all of this possible. And so now, as we do each Sunday, let's check in with each other. I'm so happy knowing you're out there, and it means so much. I never take it for granted. I wonder, how are you doing? You going through some changes? Well, I want you to know that I continue to affirm for you a year of vibrant wonder and creative change. And to you, our team of amazing financial contributors, you too are a wonder. And I have been in awe of your consistent and generous support. You are an absolutely essential part of all that makes it possible for us to share our message, our caring, and our connection. Thank you. So now, the agony and ecstasy of change. As I've been telling you, change is a natural part of life and growth, but we often resist it when it happens to us. Although change precedes new opportunities and experiences, more aliveness, excitement, freedom, greater confidence, and expression of all we're meant to be, still we often resist it when it comes. Because often before the ecstasy, frankly, comes the agony. So the past 3 Sundays have been about our experience when we're the recipients of change, when it shows up uninvited. But now let's turn it around. There are times when we fervently want to initiate change in some way. It could be a major change in career, creative self-expression, a relationship, maybe your physical body, your well-being, of finances. Could be a habit or a behavior that no longer serves your well-being. And although you are dissatisfied and maybe even deeply disturbed by the situation that you want to change, you might find yourself lamenting, I desperately want to change, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do it. Whether we're pushed by our pain and discomfort or pulled by a vision of what we desire, so often we get stuck not knowing what to do. And you know, it's funny because with such an intense desire, you'd think that change would be easy. Change your thinking, change your life. But have you noticed? Ways of thinking can sometimes be so deeply ingrained as habits of thinking that they become deep beliefs, and those beliefs can be so difficult to change. So here's how it works. What your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Conceive and believe. Changing the habit of that belief, even if it's so unpleasant, well, that can be agonizing because, frankly, sometimes it's hard to admit, but we're not quite ready to let go of that familiar, albeit unpleasant, belief. By the way, just because change is difficult does not mean that Spirit or God, the universe, is not supporting you. In fact, it is conspiring in your favor. There was a woman, Emily Cady, who was an early to mid 1900s homeopathic physician who authored many New Thought books. And she so wisely said this: desire is God tapping at the door of your mind, trying to give you greater good. So what's the difficulty for us? Well, the difficulty is because you and I have gotten off track, out of alignment with that amazing supportive way that it all works. So if this is you, I want to change, but I don't know how. Let me tell you, something in you does know how to change. Here are some practices to consider that maybe help with that. Practices to get back in alignment with that inner knowing. Dream, decide, do, and delight. Lather, rinse, and repeat. Dream, decide, do, and delight. So, first of all, dream. As in Bob's inspired song, you got to learn how to dream. You heard those words. If your life is like a nightmare, like a bad and endless dream, and everywhere you go it's like you're swimming upstream, the answer to your problem is something unseen. The secret is to learn how to dream. So dream it. And another word, imagine it. Think about your imagination. It is limitless. It's not bound by appearances. It's not bound by your history, your yesterday, the thing you want to change. None of it. What a great place to start. And your imagination is endlessly creative because it sends a message to your responsive and obedient subconscious to get busy attracting new possibilities to you. And by the way, imagining is fun. It's expansive, it's inspiring. So dream, imagine. Imagine yourself having accomplished the change that you so fervently desire. Imagine. Dream that it's done and complete. Feel the entire experience of it. Now I realize that is some reckless faith because you don't have a clue about how to get there. You've tried and tried to change, hadn't worked, and then you've been discouraged. But the powerful truth is that imagination, dreaming, is not dependent on the how. So as Bob's song says, believe that the best will happen. Keep a picture of it in your mind. Don't tell it like it is. Don't tell it like it was. Tell it how it's gonna be. And while you're dreaming, imagining, the next step is decide. Decide. Raymond Charles Barker, in his wonderful book, The Power of Decision, said this: when you decide to change, the creative process of mind moves into instant action upon your decision. Mind, spirit, the universe, your subconscious mind. What he's saying is what the brilliant author Goethe said in these well-known words. Listen to the power he's referring to. The moment one definitely commits oneself, decides, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that otherwise never would have occurred. And there's more. A whole stream of events issues from the decision raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no one could have dreamt would come along. And here's his big finish. Whatever you can dream or do, you can begin. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Powerful. Now, I know that you've experienced this on more than one occasion in your life. I have. And you may have simply called it a fluke or chance or coincidence, but you know, coincidence is just God's way of remaining anonymous. Now, if you're like me, when faced with your next thing to change, it's so easy to forget this incredible way that it works and to think, I'm all alone in this process. Well, take heart from the wisdom of Ernest Holmes, the architect of our philosophy. He said, I may not know how, but something in me does know. So you want to change something. Dream it, decide it, and then do it. Dream, decide, and do. And by that I mean do something. Take action no matter how small, because whatever it is you want to change, it's not going to happen to you, it's going to happen through you. As Ernest Holmes said, know that if divine guidance is going to work for you, it will have to work through you, through your action. Here's an example. I'm sure at some point you found your car tightly parked between the car in front of you and the car behind you. And it's very hard, if not impossible, to steer that stationary parked car. But when you move it ever so slightly back and forth between those two vehicles, pretty soon, amazingly, you're out of that tight spot and you're on your way. So what I'm saying is, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. It's hard to steer a parked car, right? Maybe your first small action is just ask a question. Get some information, however small. And then ask another question and get more information. And don't be second guessing the answers before you even ask. When I was a little girl, my dad taught me that, well, it never hurts to ask. And then he said, well, you know, the answer may not be what you want it to be, but at least you've eliminated an unknown, and then you can ask another question. But you don't know till you ask. And now, most likely, some fears are looming too. Fear of failure, of disapproval, fear of making a mistake. Do it anyway. It's like the title of one of my favorite books by a woman named Susan Jeffers. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Do one simple action now to do is to gather information. And when you do this, you'll notice some momentum as you find your way to that change you desire. You know, by the yard it's hard. By the inch, it's a cinch. The best example of this is described in a book by Dr. Robert Morrow, which I'm going to share with you. Dr. Morrow was Director of Behavioral Sciences at UCLA Medical Center. The book is titled The Kaizen Way. One small step can change your life. And Japanese corporations have been long using this gentle technique of Kaizen to achieve their business goals and maintain excellence in the business world. And also, the personal application of these simple practices has helped people to improve their lives in just about every way. The word Kaizen. Kai means change, and Zen means good. Good change. Now, here's an example from the book that the author writes about. He says, there was a woman named Julie, and Julie came in. She was a divorced mother of two, and by her own admission, she was depressed and more than a little overwhelmed. So she had come to UCLA's medical center for help with high blood pressure and fatigue, but the family practice resident and I could see that much more was going on. Her support system was shaky at best, and she was barely holding on to her job. She was carrying more than 30 extra pounds, and that, along with her increasing stress level, put her at increased risk for diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and deeper depression. It was clear that if Julie didn't make some changes, things would only get worse. Now, we knew that regular physical exercise would help to alleviate nearly all of Julie's health problems. Go jogging, ride a bike, rent an aerobics video, give up your lunch break in order to exercise. But he writes, when I looked at the dark circles under Julie's eyes, my heart sank. She worked almost constantly just to keep her kids housed and clean and fed. Her only solace was relaxing for half an hour or so on the couch most evenings. Well, welcome to Kaizen. Just as the resident physician was about to tell Julie to spend at least 30 minutes of most days on some aerobically challenging exercise, I couldn't help but jump in. Julie, how about if you just march in place in front of the television each day for 1 minute? Well, Julie brightened a little and she said, I could give that a try. When Julie returned for a follow-up visit, she reported that she had indeed marched in front of the TV set for 1 minute each night. Now, granted, she wasn't going to get much healthier with just 60 seconds of low-intensity exercise, but during this second visit, I noticed that Julie's attitude had changed. Instead of coming back discouraged, Julie was more animated in her speech and her demeanor. Now she wanted to know, what else can I do in 1 minute a day? And so we began to guide Julie slowly toward a healthier life, building up the exercise habit, minute by minute. And within a few months, Julie found that her resistance to a more complete fitness program, it had dissolved. She was now eager to take on full aerobics workouts, and she started to perform them regularly and enthusiastically. The author said, I'm talking about starting with really small steps here, ones that seem almost embarrassingly trivial at first. For example, if a patient wanted to cut out caffeine, we would start by taking 1 less sip each day. Now that's a small step. But he said eventually my clients were startled and delighted to discover that they had reached their goals with no additional strain or effort on their part. I love it. So that brings me to delight. Dream it, decide it, do it, delight in it. By that I mean, start by paying attention to something, anything, and maybe everything, that is working right in your life, whether or not related to your specific change effort. Notice these things and delight in them. Often exclaim, wow. Father David Steindl-Rast said simply, another name for God is surprise. Another name for God is surprise. So no matter how small, be surprised and delighted. Now, of course, it's so tempting to stare at all that's not working out. Like in this example of a class where a professor announced a surprise quiz. And her students, of course, waited apprehensively for the exam to begin. And once all the exams were handed out with the text side facing down, the professor asked the students to turn over the papers. And to everyone's surprise, there were no questions. There was just a black dot in the center of the paper. Well, she instructed them, I want you to write about what you see there. The students, although confused, they got started on this puzzling task. Then the professor collected and read aloud each of the exams for everyone to hear. Turns out, every student had defined the black dot, trying to explain its position in the center of the sheet. And when she finished reading them, the class was silent. The professor explained, "I'm not going to grade you on this. I just wanted to give you something to think about." No one wrote about the white part of the paper. Everyone focused on the black dot. The same thing happens in our lives. We insist on focusing only on the black dot, what's not working, the disappointments, the problems, and we all have those. But those dark spots are so small when compared to everything good we do have, everything that is working, that's turning out well. Delight in that. That's what I'm saying. Look at all that's working out. Evidence that you are supported. So, is there something you want to change? Something in you knows how. Dream it, decide it, do it, and delight in it. Because, as Bob's closing song says, if you can change your mind, you can change your world. So, it's true. After the agony truly does come the ecstasy of change. And so it is.
Change is the kicker, change is the key. We don't know what's coming tomorrow, so we hang on to what used to be. But the world is always moving, nothing stays the same. So let's hold on to what's inside, 'cause only love remains. Now some say change is a bad thing, but it's all in what you see. 'Cause if you look at life in a different way, a change can set you free. 'Cause if you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. I feel the change is coming. It's coming to you and me. A new day is dawning for all the world to see. People living together in perfect harmony, lifting their voices in songs of love and peace. Now you might think I'm crazy, but we all see what we believe. And since I turned my mind around, a change has set me free. 'Cause if you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. Change your mind, change your world. Change your mind, change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world. If you change your mind, you can change your world.
Thank you, Reverend Karen, for helping us to work through the agony of the changes we constantly experience in life, to seeing the blessings or ecstasy that they can usher in if we are aware and blessings to you as you embark on your rewirement. And thank you, Bob, for perfectly anchoring Reverend Karen's message with another of your original songs. Now, as we move forward into the time of offering, I want you to know that we're so grateful for your generous financial support of this center that allows us to support you in so many ways. There are 3 easy ways to share your offering. On your screen, you'll see our website, which is www.cslsarasota.com, where you can select the Donate button, which will bring up several options for making a contribution. You can contribute via PayPal or by credit card, or you can mail a check to our address. You can also set up automatic contributions through your own online banking. Selecting the Donate Now button will open the PayPal window. And now I invite you to place your hand over your heart as you reflect on your gift, blessing it as you share it, and know this with me. My gift goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper, and the divine flow returns it to me, multiplied abundantly. Now, please join me in our offering affirmation on your screen. I give thanks that I may share of my good, my love, and my support. Thank you so much. If you'd like prayer support, I'd like to draw your attention to the green prayer request button. We invite you to use this feature to send us your request. Our 5 licensed spiritual practitioners, Kathleen Frankert, Ron Frost, Nicole Leeds, Sean Scanlon, and me, are available to know and affirm spiritual truth with and for you in whatever challenge you may be experiencing. We're also available for 1-hour spiritual coaching sessions by appointment. For more information, check our website under the staff link at the left side of the screen and then select practitioners. Here on our website, you can also sign up to receive our weekly email newsletter. Please also check out our Facebook page for posts about upcoming events. I have one announcement for you this morning. Our Spiritual Living Circle meets via Zoom every Wednesday evening for 1 hour from 7 to 8 p.m. to discuss an article from the current month's Science of Mind magazine. This week, we'll be discussing the article by Petra Welds in the September issue entitled Work as a Spiritual Practice. This is a wonderful opportunity for spiritual development and social connection with other like-minded individuals. If you'd like to participate, please email me at the address shown on your screen, and I'll send you the Zoom link, article, and discussion guide. Now, as we conclude this sacred time together, let us move forward into the week ahead, looking for the blessings in the changes we experience. I invite you to listen or join in singing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Thank you for being with us, and have a great week, everyone.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my song.